Yeah, I'm feeling so bad because it is a very sad moment. Right now, as our culture, as a Muganda, in such times, it is very, very bad to see someone being happy about such a moment, really. It is barbaric, it is bad. In our culture, at least I'm brought up so well, that's why I've come here with my dad. Because when I was sick about what happened in Parliament, he came and checked on me, no matter what had happened, you know. He came and checked on me. He wished me a quick recovery, and about whatever happened, we just, left it right there. So that's why I also had to make the same gesture to come right here, to really sympathize with him and the family, especially for the loss of the daughter. And to me, I'm telling my supporters and all our party members that this is the time whereby we need to know that we are in the same basket. We are all oppressed. From the president to the common person, we are all oppressed. We just need to wake up to realize that we are all in the same basket. We need to fight to get out of it. Uganda is not safe. So we need to know that it takes unity to all of us to be safe. I've just checked on my dad, my colleague in Parliament. He's really up and about. He's getting much better. He's getting strong. And he's a very strong person. He's improving. And we have just heard the good news, at least he's going to be discharged today. And I'm really feeling sympathy for him, and I'm really praying so hard that he gets a very quick recovery. I, of course, sympathize with the family, more so with the loss of my sister. She's like my sister, Brenda. It's really so bad, and we pray that at least God welcomes her in a very special way. And also, to add on that in the times we are in, they are really sad times. We just need to be so conscious. We just need to be very, very careful, because it is now evident that no one is safe. And we shall never be safe till when each and every Ugandan is safe. That's what I can at least say. Muna ku byagenda maaso byonna mu Parliamenti, nze naye twabigonjoola era yalaga omutima ogw'ekizadde, era kuva ku olwo taata wange oyo gwe mulaba kuba yajja n'andabako, ate era njagaliza okulaba nga nsobola okuba nga nzira mangu engulu era ekintu ekyasoboka, ate nabyo byonna tubimaliriza niba nga biwedde. Y'ensonga lwaki nange olwaleero nzize ndaga omutima gwe gumu nga gwe yandaga omutima ogw'ekizadde, era nga bwe nali mulaba nga taata wange, era n'asigala kyekimera. Bannayuganda y'omu ku bajjeno be tusinga okwagala oyo. Ffe nga Bannayuganda, nze nga Zzaake mwagala nnyo, mwagalira ddala, kyova olaba nti nakuwalira wamu naye wamu ne famire olwa bino ebyatuuseewo nti bibi nnyo, ate era naddala ekyokuviibwako abanga mwannyinaze Brenda eyagenze, era nga tusaba Mukama Katonda omwoyo gwe agwanirize mu mbeera ennungi okumufunira ekifo ekisinga okubeera ekirungi, kubanga embeera gye tulimu essaawa ya leero si nnungi nga Bannayuganda basigaddewo. Tulina okusigala nga tusabira famire ya taata waffe, eya muganda wange gwe tukola ffenna mu Parliament, eya Katumba Wamala, okulaba nga waakiri basobola okulaba nga bafuna engeri gye bakkakkanamu mu mbeera eno gye batuusiddwako. Era nga njagala okubategeeza nti essaawa ya leero embeera gye tulimu nga Uganda si nnungi, embeera ya butabanguko. So twetaaga okubeera abantu abeegendereza ennyo, era okulaba nga twegendereza na buli mbeera yonna gye tuyitamu. Era bwe bubaka nange kennyini bwe muwadde kusigala nga tuli beegendeza okumanya nti Uganda munnange si ya ddembe. Twetaagisa buli muntu yenna yenna okuviira ddala ku mukulembeze ali waggulu Mwami Museveni paka kuffe ffenna ne Munnayuganda asemberayo ddala okumanya nti ffenna tuli mu nsi eyeetaaga okukyusa. Twetaaga nkyukakyuka era okulanga tukyusakyusa mu bintu bino ebyaguddewo, era nga kyemmanyi bigenda kubanga bikyuka, kubanga message yonna kati tugifunye ffenna titwetaaga kweyamba ensi yaffe okubeera ey'eddembe.
His daughter died in the attack, and his driver. It's a very traumatic situation for him, and of course, he narrowly escaped death himself. So I came here to give him support and encouragement and to wish him well. Yesterday at Bulanga, I issued a statement concerning this incident, and I appeal to government to ensure that thorough and deep investigations are carried out so that the culprits are brought to book. The public would like to see the perpetrators of these crimes, these rampant assassinations and attempted assassinations, being charged, being brought in the courts of law, being tried, to reassure the public. The crime wave is going to disable government's development programs, because development doesn't take place when there is lawlessness, when the public is in perpetual fear all the time. So we appeal to government to do everything possible to bring the culprits to book, but also to have stricter controls on the guns in the hands of the public. I think that guns should be primarily in the hands of the security forces, and members of the public should, to the extent possible, be precluded from holding firearms. And if they hold them, they should use them in accordance with the law. But that applies to the armed forces as well. They should use arms in accordance with the law. Finally, I would like to commend the border rider who ferried General Katumba from the scene, from the crime scene to Malcolm Hospital. I think it was an act of bravery. Other motorists just drove past the general as he was pleading for assistance, but the border cyclist was brave enough to ferry him on his bike to Malcolm Hospital. So I commend him. I also commend the doctors at Malcolm Hospital who managed to stop the bleeding. Otherwise, General Katumba would have died due to a gunshot wound. So I commend them as well. And I'm sure that where he is now is in safe hands, and we pray that God heals him as soon as possible. Thank you very much. Okumala ebbanga ddene waliwo obutemu buno obw'engeri eno obwendereddwamu ebintu bye tutamanyi. Kale gavumenti erina omulimu munene nnyo okuyigga abantu abakola ebintu bino, okubakwata n'okubateeka mu mbuga z'amateeka, kubanga abantu emitima gibeewanise nnyo. Obumenyi bw'amateeka bwe bweyongera, kittattana n'emirimu gyonna egiba gikolebwa, kubanga abantu okusobola okubaako bye bakola n'ensi okukulaakulana bate okubanga tebeeraliikirira nti obulamu bwabwe buyinza okugenda. Abantu bangi abattibwa mu ngeri eno, nga Nantongo bwe yattiddwa ne Kayondo, naye abamu tebamanyibwa kubanga si bazito. Naye emmundu n'enkozesa yaazo yeetaaga okutunulwamu. Abatateekeddwa kuba na mmundu baleme kuba nazo, ate n'abazirina bazikozese mu ngeri entuufu egoberera amateeka. Njagala nnyo okwebaza aba boodabooda, naddala omwami oyo wa boodabooda eyatuuzizza General Katumba ku pikipiki ye nga tatidde na musaayi, n'amutwala mu ddwaliro. Mu mbeera eyo abantu abasinga bandibadde batya buti ne badduka, era n'ab'ebidduka ab'emmotoka bangi bazze ne bamulaba ne bamuyitako ne bagenda. Naye aba boodabooda be babadde n'obuvumu, ate be babadde n'ekisa okulaba nti batasa obulamu nga tebasoose kulowooza ku ssente. Emirundi mingi aba boodabooda abo tuboogerera ebigambo bingi, naye ekikolwa ekyo kibalaga nti balina omugaso munene era nze mbeebaza nnyo. Neebaza n'abasawo ba Malcolm we yasoose okutwalibwa nga tannaleetebwa wano, abaasobodde okuyimiriza omusaayi gwadde gumuvaamu omungi.
I have seen General Katumba. General Katumba is in a clearly stable condition. He's under good care, and we expect that he will get out of this situation and resume his work of serving the people of Uganda, as he has always done over the many generations. So we are all wishing him quick recovery. Needless to say, we convey our condolences, and we have conveyed our condolences to him on the loss of his daughter and the loss of his driver. And we are really asking all Ugandans to be vigilant so that the criminal elements that carried out this heinous crime are followed, are detected, are identified. I am aware the security agencies are already following this matter very closely, but it is our collective responsibility, so that if you have any information or any clue that could help the investigators, to obviously make it available to them so that we can get an answer. So that we can get an answer as quickly as possible. And so that we can bring an end to these heinous crimes being committed against innocent Ugandans in a similar manner. Let me not discuss the professional management of our brother General Katumba. All I can say is that he's in very good hands. I've had discussions with the specialized team that is looking after him, has carried out the surgery. They are continuing to closely monitor him, and they will do anything that is necessary to ensure that he recovers as quickly as possible. Well, it is not true that the president speaks and nothing is done. On the contrary, a lot is actually done. One eloquent example is the question of CCTV cameras, which were put after the death, I think, of our brother Kawesi. There is no doubt that the CCTV cameras have helped the country and security forces in tracking some of these criminal elements. You and me must have seen how the motorbikes which these fellows were using and the way they were surveilling General Katumba, the way they were captured. Therefore, fighting of crime is not a one-action issue. It is a network of fighting against crime, and one of the big contributions that has been done is installation of CCTV cameras, and many more other things will be done as necessary and as advised by experts. For example, the other point was the question of electronic identification of borders, which is in the process. Therefore, good, realistic measures are being taken, and I'm confident that gradually we are going to ensure that this criminality comes to an end. Well, we are concerned about the security of officials, but we are also concerned about the security of all Ugandans. The answer, therefore, is to create an environment where this criminality, either against officials or against ordinary Ugandans, will not be perpetuated. And if it is perpetuated, the culprits can be followed, identified, and easily arrested and tried accordingly. Well, there has been a delay in the reports coming out, but that does not stop government, citizens from being vigilant and pursuing and supporting investigations. Really, security is our collective responsibility. Let each of us play their role. Let the security forces do their work. Let's give them the necessary support with information. The country will contain and will defeat this assault by these criminal forces and criminal elements. Okay, the last point, I would use the word, I expect him to be discharged soon, but this is a responsibility which is entirely in the hands of his doctors who are closely monitoring him, assessing him, and helping him to recover as quickly as possible. But I would say that his condition is not worrying and that he's making good progress. UPDF is doing great work as usual. The government ministries are doing their work. The Friends are doing their work. And His Excellency the President is doing a lot of work, some of it behind the scenes. He himself, in his text message, no, it was actually a tweet. He did indicate that he had spoken to General Katumba a couple of times. In my discussion this morning with General Katumba, he told me how this morning has had another discussion with His Excellency the President. So really, General Katumba's condition is concern of the whole country, the leadership and the population. Well, the registration of border board is an exercise that the President directed and government is working on, and I am aware that there will be progress in that direction. It is true that if borders are not only registered, but if they are able to be tracked electronically, then it would help in identifying the culprits and criminal elements. So it is something that we fully support, and it will help the country's security environment.
It's not even a question of this worrying us as government. It is a worry for humanity. We are happy that this general is getting better. But the trauma of losing his daughter, seeing his own child being shot dead, these crimes, these heinous crimes must be condemned by everybody. All of us, it is our responsibility. Security is not only for security officials. It starts with you and I. And therefore, as we pray for his quick recovery, we also pray that these criminals who carried out this terrible act are brought to book. General, no, he's in a very, very good, stable condition. I came here yesterday when they were taking him theater, and I kept on talking with the doctors. They did a fantastic job. He's in a good shape, but you can see you can feel the deeper pain. The pain he's feeling is not those wounds, but the pain, the trauma of losing his child. The child being shot when the father is there, and the driver. Those are the wounds that are deep in his heart. So we all need to pray for him and the family. They need prayers.
In English also, you are calling upon people not to keep quiet.
No.
Keep quiet.
People shouldn't keep quiet. You know, in one of the local languages, it is called Chitandugaho. Sagara Chinveko. Naye abantu gwe baba nga balina information, if people have information and they don't speak, like I said, the late Bongo Retire sang and said, today it's me, tomorrow it's someone else. Abantu baveeyo boogere oba balina information.
Well, first we have to thank God that he survived, because definitely it's by the hand of God that you can be shot at so many times and you survive. And the grief also of losing a daughter and then a driver, it's a mixed up situation. So there's grieving for those who've been lost, but also happiness that General Katumba survived. However, I think the situation is not good, I think, because we have had so many assassinations, a number of them successful. I think this is more or less the only one where they have not succeeded in, the target. Right now we can't go into the causes, but the danger is that when that grows into a culture and it almost becomes an acceptable way of solving issues of whatever nature they could be, that becomes dangerous for everybody. It doesn't matter what level you are at, it doesn't matter whether you are in government or outside government, it doesn't matter whether you are a public servant or a business person, a peasant or whatever. That culture is very dangerous. When you scan all over the world and see countries where that culture has taken root, because an incident of this nature, not only this, the number of them that have happened before, should keep waking us up as a country, those in leadership, those outside leadership, to say, okay, what kind of country do we want to live in? Because you are not going to build fortresses, you are not going to move in tanks. So the solution is the culture. We have to really act very, very fast to ensure that we have got an environment, whether you are a citizen or you are a resident, that you feel secure in the country, that you don't think that anybody can come and take you out anytime. Because the most worrying thing is that we have had so many high-profile assassinations and attempted assassinations, and the capability to investigate, get the criminals, try them, charge them, sentence them, because that's also a deterrence. We have not seen any happen. So again, the government really has to think and